Good Sunday morning, I'm Jaden Jefferson, and welcome to this week's Community Focus. I am, of course, once again breaking the format of this show, and normally when I do, it's for good reason. And that's because we have a debate coming up, a presidential debate on Thursday at 9 p.m. on CNN. I'm now going to preview some of the issues as well as what you can expect for the debate. We want to first start, though, with the rules, lay the ground rules here, because that's what's going to be important. If we remember the last debate, it wasn't exactly orderly. So what is CNN doing to prevent a similar debate to the last one we saw, which left many Americans deeply disappointed? First things first, no staffer interactions during commercial breaks. There are only 2 breaks during this debate, and during that time, the candidates will be with their thoughts. This could be a good thing. And this next one, Chris Wallace probably wished he had this ability during that last debate. That was quite chaotic. But when the candidates are not supposed to be speaking, their mic will be off. And this will, of course, prevent that over-talking that tends to happen, because the candidates, once they have full control of things, that's when we really lose the respectful part of the debate. And the next thing, no notes. The candidates will only be provided a notepad, a pen, and a bottle of water. They will not be allowed to bring anything that they prepared on the way to the debate or before the debate. That's going to be left out. The candidates, yes, they're getting a lot of coaching before the debate. But if you don't have anything written down or any retorts that you want to get in before the debate's over, you tend to have to go with the flow of things, and this could really make a debate that's more productive. Fingers crossed. And finally, there will be no opening statements. But on top of that, there will be no live audience. As a person who watches debates, I kind of appreciate that because people are loud. We now move on to the issues. There are a ton of them out there, but I narrowed it down to 3. The first one is immigration. President Biden recently announced that non-citizens, they can't stay in the U.S. if they meet the criteria, which are they've been in the country 10 or more years, they are legally married, and on top of that, they meet all legal requirements. This is a new policy from the Biden administration, which the administration says is aiming to keep families together. Now, he did announce this in addition to stating that his policy does involve sending more resources to the border, including personnel as well as needed equipment. Now, President Trump's policy, it differs a bit from President Biden's policy in the sense that it's more focused on preventing unlawful crossings. He said in the Time magazine interview he'd be willing to send the military to the border in addition to building additional detention camps. We keep it moving now with the economy. This is going to be a difficult race for the Biden campaign when it comes to this issue in particular, because all of us were now paying more after the last few years of inflation, which was spurred by the pandemic, among other things. So what has exactly been the Biden campaign's pitch when it comes to the economy? Because a lot of us are struggling. Well, there have been a few different things. One of them is youth-oriented, and that's student loan debt forgiveness. Obviously, the youth vote is a hard one to get some elections, especially this one. And so he has definitely continued to fight in the courts for that, and in some cases have to go around the courts in order to make that happen. But for older Americans, Social Security and Medicare have been 2 things he's really stood behind and said that he will continue to support, in addition to increasing taxes on large corporations and billionaires. So moving on from that to the Trump campaign's economic plans. What will change under a potential Trump administration Part 2? Well, he said in many speeches that this is Biden's inflation. That's where he's placing the blame. So what's he going to do about it? We look back at 2017, and that was when President Trump cut corporate taxes from 35% to 21%, in addition to also stating that the Affordable Care Act has to go. So really, they're just on opposite sides of the economy. But that's really what we see a lot when it comes to the issues in these campaigns. Even though most Americans do actually share some commonalities despite their political standings, the campaigns seem to have completely different ends of the spectrum. And this last issue. It really makes the other 2 look small once you get to talking about it. The amount of time on cable news it's consumed, and just everyday people have had thoughts about it. Talking about abortion. The Biden campaign, once Roe v. Wade fell, quickly mobilized and made its message clear that it supports reproductive rights. While the Trump campaign has had a bit of a struggle because it wasn't exactly clear up until April where President Trump stood on it. He said in a video that decisions about reproductive rights should be left up to the states. And going into the debate, and of course the election in November, we will see how these 2 strategies play out. Because as you remember, after Roe v. Wade fell, women quickly became a huge part of Democrat support. So we will see if anything has changed in the time since. So still some ways to go until November. But in the meantime, the debate, less than a week away. And that will be happening again, Thursday at 9 p.m. on CNN. I will be providing updates on all of my social media pages as things happen in real time. But for now, that's this week's Community Focus. Enjoy your Sunday, and maybe after this, stay away from politics. Spare yourself the headache until Thursday. I'll see ya.